What's going on, YouTube? I am back. I'm Jabari Showtime. I would like to thank everybody for tapping into this video right here. I really appreciate it. First and foremost, I would like to everybody to make sure that they follow me on every social media platform, and that is at Jabari Showtime. As well as below, you see the subscribe button. Go ahead and click that right there, and you'll get some more of this content coming your way. Alright? And on this video right here in particular, I would like to gears it towards Ezekiel Elliott, running back for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Ezekiel Elliott, one of the star players for the Dallas Cowboys, one of the cornerstone players of the Dallas Cowboys that this franchise has built their team around. We're starting to see Ezekiel Elliott go through a different phase of his career. And year after year, we've seen his numbers decrease and decline and things like that. We haven't seen the same explosiveness from Ezekiel Elliott that we saw from his first 2 seasons in the NFL, and even from his 3rd year in the NFL, which got him his new contract. And a lot of people may say, well, Ezekiel Elliott's getting out of shape. Well, Ezekiel Elliott does play the running back position, so the life expectancy of an NFL running back is short. It's very slim. Also, he was at some point the very main focal point of the offense, so he may have a lot of wear and tear on his body. But honestly, from my perspective, from my lens, I don't necessarily see it that way. However, I do see it hard for Ezekiel Elliott to pretty much bounce back and to, put up good numbers, right? Pretty much based on how the offense is ran now and based on how the Dallas Cowboys are, the direction that they're starting to go. When you look at the Dallas Cowboys offense, the first thing that you think of, well, of course, aside to Dak Prescott finally signing his deal, you think of the triplets, right? You got Amari Cooper, you got Michael Gallup, and you have CeeDee Lamb. Now, these 3 wide receivers are very, very talented. One of the more talented wide receiver trios in the NFL. And it hasn't, paid the many dues. Last season they finished the season 6-10. And the offense wasn't so explosive, mainly due to Dak Prescott being injured and out for the season. But aside to all that, I don't believe that it's going to be easy for Ezekiel Elliott to necessarily have a bounce back season. Not because of the wear and tear on his body, not because he's out of shape or anything. I think Ezekiel's in good shape. Not even because the offensive line is getting older and they're starting to diminish. I believe it's Kellen Moore. Many people don't necessarily bring this up, but once we saw the offense, once we started changing coordinators, once we changed offensive coordinators from Scott Linehan, and then we went with Kellen Moore because he was, pretty much the next man up. He was the quarterback coach for that one season, right? And so we had some chemistry with Dak Prescott because he was the backup quarterback at some point. And once he retired, he went ahead and transitions to the quarterback coach. And so him and Dak Prescott have some kind of connection, some kind of rapport and chemistry. And so it makes sense in that way. And he is kind of, a boy genius, offensive guru, a coordinator kind of guy. But he's drawn up some good plays. But the thing is, he isn't good at drawing up run plays. And I think his play calling can be, at times, not so good, right? We look at the kind of running back Ezekiel Elliott is, and the way that they want to use Ezekiel in the offense, I don't think it's best equipped for Ezekiel Elliott, right? Because this offense is more of a pass-oriented offense, right? Especially once you tag along Mike McCarthy. This offense is a lot more pass-oriented, and Ezekiel Elliott just isn't equipped to this kind of style of offense. So it's hard for him to thrive in it. And yes, have we seen Ezekiel Elliott have some success in the passing game as a running back, as a pass catcher out of the backfield? We have, but it depends how you're giving him the ball. You have to give it to him on, a lot of dump offs and check downs and screenplay. I can't remember one time last season when Kellen Moore called a screenplay for Ezekiel Elliott. It's been a long time since we've seen that, right? And like I mentioned before, we seen the transition from Scott Linehan to Kellen Moore, and we saw the number of carries go down. We saw them they're trying to use him more as a pass catcher out of the backfield. They're trying to run with him more east and west instead of north and south. And then once you see Jason Garrett walk out the door, his carries drop dramatically, right? And not only did they drop dramatically, he was banged up last season, I believe. He did have a few injuries and things like that. He did have COVID during training camp. Not knowing too much how much that had an effect on his body and him getting ready for the season. But I just don't believe that Kellen Moore is as equipped and good as drawing up run plays for Ezekiel Elliott, just as much as him getting him involved in the passing game. You got to call screenplays for Ezekiel Elliott because that's what he thrived in. That's what he was best at. Some of his best highlights are from, his screenplays to the house, 80 to 60 yards, right? We remember that play from Pittsburgh. That was probably the best game of his career. That play from the 49ers where he took it 60 yards to the house on a screenplay, right? And it's just Scott Linehan and Jason Garrett were best at that. Their offense is more old school and more traditional and more one-dimensional. But the thing was that's what made Ezekiel Elliott great. That was their bread and butter. Because the offensive line, not only was the offensive line still intact and still healthy, but Ezekiel Elliott was younger, he was more fresh. And not even just that, that's just how he is. That's just how he's built. He's built to run the ball north and south, not so much east and west, right? And I feel like not even just that, the pattern in which Kellen Moore calls plays can be a bit sketchy, right? 1st and 10, he might be looking to pass the ball. It's an incomplete pass. And then the next play, they line the back up. It's 2nd and 10. They're in a single back formation. They hand it off to Zeke. It's a gain of 1 yard. Well, it's like, no, now then the defense knows, what's coming. A lot of times the play calling can be very predictable. And a lot of times the teams on the opposite side can really know what they're about to do. And I'm a huge advocate for Ezekiel Elliott. I do believe that although Kellen Moore has helped Dak Prescott emerge and is seen as a better passer of the football, but I also believe that at the same time, with the progression of Dak Prescott, it's also taking away from, it's diminishing Ezekiel Elliott at the same time. I just believe that as Dak Prescott is more hands-on with the offense because he's the quarterback, and because they wanted him to progress as a pocket passer. And we look at Ezekiel Elliott, we look at a $15 million running back, or the highest paid running back in the league, and he's not necessarily playing up to a certain level that we're accustomed to seeing. But we have to take account for what is the offense looking like. Is this the kind of offense that he's best at? At the end of the day, everybody is going to thrive in the system. It's okay to be a system quarterback. It's okay to be a system running back, right? Lamar Jackson won an MVP off of being a system quarterback, right? Everybody thrives in the system. Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and they made it to a Super Bowl. Just off the strength, off the muscle of Kyle Shanahan being an offensive genius and his system. It's nobody can knock that. You know, the fact that Ezekiel Elliott is supposedly the one of the more elite and premier running backs in the league, and he hasn't played like it lately. I'm not. Yes, a lot has to do with his fault. You know, he hasn't been taking care of the ball lately. He's been fumbling a lot. He had a lot of fumbles this year. He's been turning the ball over. But at the same time, is the offense, built for Zeke to thrive? And I just don't believe that. I do believe that he will look better this season. I think he's going to be more healthier this season. I think Dak Prescott on the field helps a lot. When you have a dual threat quarterback like a Dak Prescott, although Dak Prescott isn't a run-first quarterback, it gives a running back like Ezekiel Elliott a boost. You never know when they're going to call a read option or a bootleg or things like that. So you can, mix up the play calling a little bit. You keep the defense on their toes. So a healthy Dak Prescott will help Ezekiel Elliott, right? And, more than enough, Ezekiel Elliott should be back to form. My expectations for this season, I believe Ezekiel Elliott at best might have 1,200, 1,100 yards rushing. But, if you look at the numbers, they really just took the ball out of his hands. I don't know if that was, they wanted to get Pollard more involved. Like I said, he did have injuries. A lot of times they were down in a lot of games and playing from behind. So when you're playing from behind, you can't run the ball as much. You have to pass the ball to get back in the game. And a running back like Ezekiel Elliott, you have to get him involved on early, right? Especially if you don't have a good defense. Especially if you're always playing catch up. So yeah, that's just my take on everything, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and give me feedback as well. Make sure that you follow me on every social media platform at Jabari Showtime. Once again, thank you. What's going on, YouTube? I would like to thank y'all for watching this video right here. For more content like this, please click the links below. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe as well. And make sure that you follow me on every social media platform at Jabari Showtime. Let's get it.